Hello and welcome back to the channel. So today, I, a deaf person, will be reacting to a video called Kids Meet a Deaf Person. This is going to be interesting because as a deaf person, kids scare me the most. They scare me more than adults in a different kind of way. It is much harder for me to understand kids, and kids don't know really that much and they can get confused, and I try to avoid kids as much as possible, which might hurt their feelings and then I feel bad. But in this case we're gonna have interpreters and stuff, so it should be much easier on their end than mine. If you would like to see more of these types of reaction videos, I do have a playlist. I'll have that link up above so you can go watch that when you're done watching this. Also, be sure to subscribe to the channel so you'll be able to see more reaction videos in the future. Also, consider pledging on Patreon or joining the channel down below if you're wanting to support my content. Always very appreciated and helps out a lot. So, let's react, shall we?
I see that you're doing sign language. I think I know. Are you deaf?
Hi.
Hello. My name is Steven.
My name's Carolina. Hi, I'm Crystal. What's your name?
My name is Nikki.
I like that name.
Thank you.
Me too.
You just coffee, so I said.
No.
How old are you?
Old enough to be your mom.
Old enough to be your mother.
I'm 11.
What are we gonna do today?
Today, you're going to meet a deaf person. Do you know what deaf means?
A deaf person is a person that can't hear.
Right.
Kids on the right track because, yeah, for the most part, the general definition is that it's deaf person, it's person that can't hear. But I've said this before, and they're kids. This might be a little too complex here. It also depends on frequencies and, level of hearing loss, things like that. What kind of hearing loss? Good kids so far.
Were you born deaf?
No, I actually lost my hearing when I was 5.
That's all young.
How old are you?
7.
GT's 5.
No, I'm 9.
Fake loser.
How did you lose your hearing?
My grandmother would call my name, Nikki. When they brought me to the doctor, Grandma said, hey, I've been calling her name and she's just ignoring me. And the doctor did a test and found out that I was losing my hearing. It's something that runs in our family. My grandparents were deaf. My dad is also deaf.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, similar story to mine. I was staying at a friend's house, and her mom would call my name while she was behind me, things like that, trying to say stuff to me, and I wouldn't turn around when I was supposed to, and so to the audiologist I went.
Can you hear some things, or are you completely deaf?
I can hear some things with my cochlear implant.
Can you hear animal sounds?
Yes,
I can make a cow and cat. Do you want to see if you can hear it?
sure. Yeah, I could hear that. I could hear your voice because you're sitting close to me. But if I take it off, I'm fully deaf.
I like that the blonde girl was asking if she could still hear some things because there are deaf people who do have residual hearing, like myself and many others. But yeah, that's a good question to ask because a lot of people do get confused about if a deaf person is hearing something. Now, it is a little bit different with a cochlear implant, but there are deaf people with natural residual hearing like me. So it's good that on a video like this that has a lot of views, somebody's asking that question, and people will know.
Cochlear implant.
Well, it's sort of like a hearing aid, but instead of putting it behind your ear to help you hear things, it actually is put inside the skull.
Do they need to cut your head?
Well, it wasn't really a cut, but it was put underneath the skin right near my ear.
Oh.
And then the wire comes down to this little box, and you can turn the volume up or down and adjust it, and that helps me hear.
Okay, cochlear implant, friends, help me out. Is that a thing for all cochlear implants? Because I swear I've never seen any of my friends who do have a cochlear implant with that. That is actually brand new information to me. Interesting. Let me know down in the comments. I'm very, very curious about that.
Does it help you hear now?
Yes, it does. It helps me to hear my favorite thing, which is music.
If you're deaf, how do you listen to music?
I feel the vibrations. I feel the music. You know how music has vibration? They can put their hand on something that vibrates, or they can feel the music through their feet. And plug my cochlear implant right into my iPad or my phone, and I can put it as loud as I want.
Nobody else can boss you around and say, that's too loud.
That's right.
Yeah, that's one really common way of how deaf people listen to music. Also, just another one, simply turning up the volume incredibly loud so that you can hear it. For me, it's like a mixture. It depends on what I'm listening to. If it's the classic rock radio that's just in my car, or really any regular radio in my car, I have to rely on both vibrations and the volume because I can't hear the radio as much as I used to be able to anymore, even though it's all the way up. If I'm playing an Epic High CD, all I really have to do is turn it up, but the volume or the vibration does help, especially because, you know, Epic High is a hip-hop rap group with a lot of bass, so that helps. What was funny is the other kid saying, well, now nobody can boss you around and say it's too loud. That is true, but also what's funny is if somebody does say, that's too loud and you're gonna go deaf, it's funny to just reply, Karen, I'm already deaf. That's why this is happening right now. That happened at the audiologist once. I was watching Hell's Kitchen on my iPod, those old things, and I had to have it all the way up. They didn't have captions back then, the iPod on TV shows, and the audiologist was scolding me because I had it all the way up, and I was just like, lady, I'm already deaf.
Do you like to sing?
Yes, I like to sing.
I'd love to hear you sing.
You might tell me to quit and go back to my day job. I can sing in the shower though.
Shower singing is the best type of singing.
Yeah, y'all don't want to hear me sing either.
What instruments do you play?
Well, I used to play the piano.
We have so much in common already. You like music, I like music, you play piano, I play piano.
Yeah, so there are a lot of deaf musicians out there. Sean Forrest produces his own music. A mutual friend of ours plays bass. I want to say, I think it's either bass or guitar, I can't remember exactly. Mandy Harvey plays guitar, and there's just a lot of other deaf people playing lots of other musical instruments. What I like is that these kids are asking questions and treating her normally, and definitely not doing that whole like, oh my god, if I was deaf I wouldn't be able to listen to music and that would be horrible. Like they're understanding that deaf people can do the same things that hearing people do.
Do you have a cell phone?
Yes, I do. I have a cell phone for texting.
So that's what you only use your cell phone for, just for texting?
Yeah, I can't really hear the phone. I can't talk to people over the phone, so we use texting.
What are some other ways that technology helps you out, like in your daily life?
For deaf people, we have a doorbell that actually, when you push the button, is connected to a light in the house. The lights in the house you'll see in different rooms, lights going off.
Ouch. Do you use an alarm clock?
Yes, I do. I have an alarm clock. My alarm clock, when it goes off, it actually vibrates the bed. Sort of like a little mini earthquake.
Was that scary the first time you used it?
Yes,
That's kind of a cool alarm clock.
I love it.
So in terms of cell phones, yeah, I primarily use mine only for texting. It doesn't really make sense for me to use it for calling. The only person I call really is my dad, and that's because I feel comfortable screaming at him when I can't hear him. So, you know, I'm not going to feel as awkward as if I was trying to call my doctor, who I don't really know like that. You know, it'd just be a little too weird to yell what at him. But I also use it if I want to FaceTime people. You know, now you can use apps like VRS apps or whatever, so you can get an interpreter to interpret things. So I don't really use that very often. I don't really make a whole lot of appointments, and if I do, I just use it. I just use the online appointment scheduling thing that most companies have on their websites by now. I do wish I had a doorbell that had the little lights or like the Ring doorbell, but and the alarm clock. Perfect. Absolutely love it. It is scary when you first use it. It scares hearing people. If you want to prank them, it's hilarious. Sometimes it still spooks me even now, and I've been using it for like over 2 decades now.
Part about being deaf.
The hardest part is not being able to hear, like in a large group setting. I feel left out.
Do you ever get scared because you can't hear what's going on?
Oh yes, I do get scared. For example, there was a situation a long time ago. There was a fire in the apartment and I was asleep. People were pounding and knocking on the doors, but I couldn't hear them. And it was scary with my son being there too.
Your son was in there too? Did he have a little fire on him?
Nope. Luckily, the firemen broke into the apartment and saved us.
That sounds serious.
I know there are visual fire alarms that exist. I don't know, like I know in apartment buildings, like ordinary apartment buildings, there's visual alarms in the hallways. But in terms of actually in an apartment itself, I don't think I've ever seen one unless somebody has actually installed it. I don't have a visual one, and I live in a more townhome complex type of thing, so you don't get that. You don't get hallways with lights in them. One good thing was I was at a different hotel, and there was a visual alarm clock going, or fire alarm going, which went off twice, and that's only because somebody pulled a fire alarm. But on the upside, at least it was so bright that I could see it overnight, so it did wake me up.
Are there any sounds that you're glad you don't have to listen to?
I don't like listening to yelling. That bothers me. It gives me a headache. That's easy for me to avoid. I can just take it off and I don't hear them. Do you guys argue?
She argued with me. No.
Okay, that was adorable. I'm not gonna lie, I was expecting some kind of comments or questions that made me like go like this, because they're little kids and they ask or say the most bizarre things. Isn't there a TV show that's dedicated to that type of thing? But yeah, they seem like really nice kids, and they probably seem like kids that would not scare me. Of course, in that type of situation, there would be an interpreter, but meeting kids for the first time makes me nervous. It's funny, I remember one time I was staying at my friend's house because we were going to a deaf event, and she has a child, and my friend is deaf and her child is hearing. And this is when she was like 2 years old. She would occasionally come to me and try to talk, and I couldn't understand her at all. So I always got very nervous, and I would just like nod all the time. And now I wonder how she would be, because she's 6 years old, so I wonder if she would have more of an understanding of deaf people. My friend hears and lip reads a little bit better than me because she has hearing aids and stuff, and she's just more used to that. It was easy for her and her child to communicate. But back then, 2 of us, no. Oh, I would always feel bad that I would like hurt her feelings or something, make her cry, which is not what I want to do. They weren't. Alright, so that's the reaction to that video. I hope you enjoyed it. If there's anything that you would like me to react to in the future, leave me a link down below or something of the sort, and I'll try to do that in the future. If you'd like to help translate this video, I have a translation link down below. Again, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any videos. Pledge on Patreon or join the channel if you would like, and I will see you later. Or thank you for watching, and I will see you later. Bye.